Good morning, Year 4. This is my hints and tips lesson for our maths lesson today. Divide 2 digits by 1 digit, and this should be a recap of work that you have done in Year 3. Now, the strange thing is today, if you're working with me on my video, I don't want you to do questions 1, 2 and 3. So question number 4, the first part A, is 45 divided by 3. Now, because 45 is outside of our times tables, we're going to use this method of division on a number line to help us. So I'm going to model what we're going to do. Okay. Now, we know we're always going to think about our multiple of 10 and how many groups that is. Okay, now our multiple of 10 when it comes to 3 is 30, and we know that that is 10 groups. Okay, and we know that 10 groups is worth 30. So we know that 30 is 3 tens, and we're going to take 30 from 45. So there are 4 tens in 45, and we're going to subtract 3 of them, which means that we will be left with 15. Okay. Now 15 is a multiple of 3. Alright, when it is 5 groups of 3, so that's 5 groups, and we know that 5 groups of 3 is 15, and when we do 15 subtract 15, we will be left with 0, which means there's no remainder. So here we have how many groups of 3 in 45? 10 groups and 5 groups, so that is 15 groups altogether. Now 4b is 57 divided by 3, so it's outside of 57 is outside of our 3 times table, but we need to use our understanding of our 3 times table to help us. So I'm going to start by taking 10 groups of 3 away from 57, which 10 groups of 3 is 30, and 30 is made of 3 groups of 10, so I subtract 3 groups of 10 from 57. The 7, the 1's digit, is not going to change, and if I subtract 3 groups, 3 from 5, 3 tens from 5 tens, that's going to leave me with 27. Okay, and actually looking at my times table, I know that 27 is a multiple of 3, because 9 groups of 3 is 27. So if I subtract 9 groups, that's 27, and I will be left with 0, so there is no remainder. And how many groups of 3? 10 groups and 9 groups, so 19. This time we're dividing by 4, so we're doing 92 divided into groups of 4. Okay, so I've done my splat box for the 4 times table, and you're fast at your tables now, so you should just be able to write a splat box quickly. Alright, I'm going to start by doing that 10 groups. Okay, so 10 groups of 4 this time, so that's 40, and 40 is made of 4 groups of 10, so I'm going to subtract 4 groups of 10 from 9 groups of 10. Remember, the 1's don't change, So 9 subtract 4 leaves 5, and because 52 is bigger than 40, I can take another 10 groups as well. So 10 groups of 4 is 40, and when I subtract 40 from 52, 40 is made of 4 groups of 10, so I'm going to take those from my 5 10s in 52. That will leave me with 12, and 12 is a multiple of 4. So that's, if I subtract 3 groups, oh, can I fit it in? Yes. 3 groups is 12, and so when I do 12 subtract 12, that will leave me with 0, so there'll be no remainder. And I've taken 10 groups of 4, 10 groups of 4 and 3 groups of 4, so altogether that's 23 groups of 4. Now for question number 5, they're kind of trying to lead you in the same direction that I want you to go, but they're making it a bit more confusing by putting it in a whole part model. So here we've got Rosie and Tommy are working out 52 divided by 4. They both use a whole part model, and this is Rosie's one and this is Tommy's one. Okay, and Rosie has just partitioned hers into 10s and 1s, whereas Tommy has partitioned his into kind of groups of 4, and that's our 10 groups of 4 there and 3 groups of 4 here. Right, and I'll show you how it looks on the number line. So here we have 52 divided by 4. Because it's bigger than we know in our times tables, we're going to start with 10 groups. Okay, and 10 groups of 4 this time is 40. So I'm going to subtract those 4 groups of 10 from our 52. So there's 5 10s there. I'm going to subtract 4 10s, which will leave me with 1 10 and 2 1s, and 12 is a multiple of 4. So how many 4s? That's 3 groups, and 3 groups of 4 is 12, and that will leave me with 0, no remainders. So how many groups of 4 could I make from 52? And I divide it by 4, and that will be 13 groups. So I think you should be able to see what they're trying to show you, although I don't think it's as clear in a whole part model as it is on the number line. So number 6 says, use the part-whole models to complete the divisions. So what I suggest you do is you use the number line. Okay, so I'll show you 48 divided by 3. So because 48 is not in our 3 times table, okay, we're going to go for taking a group of 10, so 10 groups, and this time our divisor is 3, so 10 groups of 3 is 30. Okay, I'm going to take those 3 groups of 10 away from 48, so we know that our digit in the ones will not change, and we're going to take 3 of those 10s, which is going to leave 18. Okay, and 18 is a multiple of 3, and 1 2 3 4 5 6 6 groups of 3. So we've got 6 groups of 3 is 18. And when I do 18 subtract 18, that gets me to 0, so there is no remainder. How many groups of 3 was I able to make? 10 groups and 6 groups, so 16 groups altogether. So they are actually trying to show you the same thing. I just don't think it's as clear in the whole part model as it is on the number line. So we'll do 6b as well, which is 96 divided by 4. So 96 is a multiple that is bigger than the ones we know in our times tables. So we're going to use our multiple of 10 because it's so easy to subtract. There's only a digit in the tens. We've just got the place value holder of the 0. So we're taking away 4 groups of 10, 40 from 96. So I subtract those 4 groups of 10 from the 9 tens. That will leave me with 5 tens in that number, and the ones digit doesn't change. And here I can actually take another 10 groups away of 4 again, because 56 is bigger than 40. 10 groups, and 10 groups of 4 is 40. Okay, subtract those 4 tens from 56. So we know that our ones digit is not going to change. Subtract the 4 tens from here. It's going to leave us with 16. And 16 is a multiple of 4. Because 4 times 4 is 16. So if I subtract 4 more groups of 4, that's 16, and 16 is 0. So there is no remainder. How many groups of 4 have I taken away? 10 groups here, 10 groups here, 4 groups here. And that's 24 groups altogether. Okay, this one is 6C, and I think if you think closely about the value of 65 and the fact that we're dividing it by 5, well, if we do know our 5 times table really well, our multiples of 5, and we know 10 times 5 is 50, 11 times 5 is 55, and 12 times 5 is 60. So if we know that, we've only got another group of 5 and we're there. So if 12 times 5 is 60, 13 times 5 is 65. We've got our inverse of our division, so 65 divided by 5 would be 13. Okay. So sometimes we can just use our understanding, apply our understanding. So this is 6D, and we have 75 divided by 3. So we're going to start with our subtracting groups of 10. Okay, so I've done 10 groups, which is 30, and that left me with 45. Then going to do another 10 groups, and that will leave me with 15, and 15 is a multiple of 3, so that will then be 5 groups. And 5 groups, and that will leave me with 0, so I've done 25 groups. I've rushed the last one because I'm running out of time on the video. Okay, so if you just do the work from the video, that is fine today. Alright, well done.